420. So, and they might give you a little bit more if we coax them into it.
Yay! I love it. And maybe we can chat with them about honoring the bug card at some point. I would love to. So this is amazing. So today you guys are going to break up, what is the amount of cannabis that goes into each one of those?
So we have two different sizes today. We have a 7-gram cannagar mold that's a little bit smaller, and it will fit exactly 7 grams. Sometimes I can get more in there. This one's a 14-gram cannagar mold, and I've actually gotten 18 grams in here. We smoked it at one of the META events.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a pretty gnarly one, but we have a full ounce here. We have a ½ ounce of Sunset Sherbet and a ½ ounce of GDP from Zonka Farms. So we're going to put those into some cannagars. We're going to make some mixtures. And
yes. All right. Super excited. I'm going to have way more questions about this, but we're just going to continue around the circle and we'll come back to them. All right. So who are you, my dear? And tell us a little bit about what you brought to the show today. You have some prettiness in front of you as well.
Yes, my name is Jacob Hyatt. I'm a Hyatt Foods _ on IG. What I do for Zonka is I do all their edibles. I run their kitchen, and I operate and manage my line, which is Hyatt Foods, which is the medicated cheese cracker line that used to be Weedits. And then I also just basically help out with operations right now. But I brought some delicious Sunset Sherbet and some GDP that we have from Zonka. I'm super excited. We have a lot of new strains coming out right now. We really try to elevate not only flavors, but just the quality in general. So I'm really excited for what the group that we have right now and kind of the future and where we're kind of going with it.
Yes, I gotta say the bud here is very beautiful. You hand trimmed some of it. Is that fair to say?
I did. I can't take the credit though. My growers are the guys that do it. Glorious Cannabis came in and has really kind of made a difference in my opinion in what we do. The strains speak for themselves, but I think we really have a really good crew in what we do. So I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, and it's certainly, cannabis in general it's definitely, there's many cogs in the wheel, right? So there's all these different parts. So they're all super important in kind of making it happen. And we appreciate your part and we appreciate what you brought. And we cannot wait to smoke on this, and feel free to, we'll take some of this bud out in a few minutes and kind of hopefully show our viewers a little bit of it. And it's definitely beautiful. It smells amazing. So yeah. All right. So as we get into the evening, we won't get too serious at first, but if everyone could just maybe tell us why they medicate, or even maybe why they medicate and how old they were when they started research. That's what we copied Jimmy Joints on a few shows back. He gave us that term for when we were younger and kind of figuring this out. So, maybe tell us a little bit about your research experience, and then we'll go into a little bit more of the good, pretty products that are here. Sound good? Yay. All right, so we'll go right to left this time. I'm calling you out this time. Sorry. I'm just going to switch it up all night to keep everyone on their toes. So why do you medicate, if you don't mind telling us? And maybe when did you start medicating?
Yeah.
We'll start there.
Definitely. I started smoking probably when I was like 12 or 13. Just because I think most of my cousins didn't want me to do the other drugs. I grew up in Michigan, so I grew up like the minimal house like type of like music. So we grew up with juke and that type of music from Chicago and Detroit type of stuff. My brother was a big DJ in the city, so I think that's what my cousin got me into it. I think more than anything, so I wouldn't do other drugs in a sense too.
Wait. So it's the non-gateway drug? Did I just hear that right?
Yeah, 100%.
Whoa, mind-blowing just now. I just got it,
absolutely 100%.
Who knew?
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
Awesome.
I don't believe, and for me and my body, I'm not good with any drugs that I can't eat on. So I figured that out kind of at an early age and kind of stuck with that, so it really wasn't an issue too much. So I was kind of blessed with just a fat gut and a really good appetite.
Do you have anything now, as we learn more about cannabis, that you specifically medicate for that you wouldn't mind sharing with us?
Yeah, unfortunately I got into an accident when I was younger. I was in playing soccer like all over and went up for a header and got a elbow right in the right orbital, and my right orbital was totally shattered. It was a millimeter away from my optical nerve, and it caused like basically a headache just because the eye had to struggle so much because the muscle was basically just totally destroyed. I had like reconstructive surgery and stuff, but still like it was like basically hurting for a long time. So that really is kind of the main reason, in my opinion, for focus. I have a lot of reasons, honestly, why I smoke. One, because I like it and I enjoy it, and I think it's a beautiful thing, and it's something that's a part of me, and I don't think that's I really want to not do that. But besides that too, is like I'm do it for back reasons, like just to smoke for that type of reasons. I feel like it calms me. I get pretty nervous on stuff, and honestly, so I feel like smoking helps me calm down and kind of focus and structure what I need to do, rather than kind of just like get nervous about how it gets done rather than just doing it. I think a lot of people have conversations where people use the word like stoner and that type of thing, which is great too, but in the same sense, like the representation of, I believe there's a large group of cannabis users that are very productive and that are very mindful and are very get things done. I'm not the best person by any means, so I'm not going to act like I am, but I do believe it helps me now in this point in time just to like kind of get things together, especially me working in the kitchen long hours, that type of thing, 13, 14-hour days on a regular. You know what I mean? That's first one in, last one out. Those are the type of situations that I use cannabis for.
And there's no like set prescription, right? We're still figuring this all out. So that's part of it too. It makes it really hard to even find that balance. If you have pain or you have these different, different reasons that you're medicating and you're trying to find that balance, sometimes that could be tricky. You might find one medicine that does one thing but doesn't really do the other. And so you kind of got to do a trial and error. And so I think, it can be tricky for those of us that are trying to medicate for things like pain or, those types of things, in addition to any type of focus or anything like that. So,
well, each strain is so different. And when you get into the strain differences, now you get into growing differences. Yes. So if one person is taking it down early or taking it down late, now you've got a totally different bud.
Yes.
You can take a sativa and turn it into indica by leaving it in an extra 4 weeks.
Really?
Yeah, you get it all stony and turn all the CBN. Yeah,
wow. Learning new things all the time. So, I mean, cannabis, it's just such a learning industry. I feel like there's so much coming out all the time. Like, yes. All right, we'll get into it. So, medicate. Why do you medicate?
I medicate for anxiety, for depression, for my back, for my head, I medicate to medicate. I started when I was about 12 or 13 as well. And I needed something else to do. You're right. You don't know what you're going to get into as a kid. And I got into smoking a lot of pot. A lot of my friends would come with the brick weed. It would come in a big old brick. We'd all chop it up, take our little part, sell it to our friends. I mean, we were 15 years old and entrepreneurs, and it just kind of branched into that. And that's where I got into this industry. It just became a business for me. I ran Nirvana in Oro Valley for a little while. Got my dispensary experience, and while I was there, I piloted weedware. So weedware is
tell us what weedware is. Like, I know a little bit about what it is because we've chatted before, but I don't know that anyone else knows what weedware is.
Yeah, weedware, it competes with some of the seed to sale tracking software in the company. What we do is we actually track all the plants as they're either seedlings or cuttings, and they'll be tracked through wholesale all the way to retail, all the way through the dispensary, so that we know where the cannabis came from, where it started from. So if we have a deficiency somewhere, we can track it all the way back to the initial batch.
So, and that probably also gives you some really cool analytics for like life cycles of cannabis, or even like how long it takes some of the stuff to sell. I mean, that's going to be, some really cool, like as a business person who sometimes looks at those numbers, that's going to be cool to see those trends kind of.
Yeah, because when you're looking at different plants, especially when you're on the grow side, you're seeing the different harvests. So you have a Girl Scout cookie that's very resiny, has nice heavy buds, but they're little buds throughout. But then you've got a big bud or a holy bud that is gigantic with these big, massive nugs, but the THC level might be a little bit lower, and the effects might be a little bit lower. So you can predict these and see, okay, well, I want to grow a whole room of the Girl Scout and pack them in there in smaller pots and try to generate more plant growth rather than in the big bud room, I only need 6 pots in there. So you can really forecast what you're going to use and how you're going to use it. And then all the cost expenditures on weedware, you're taking the cost of the nutrients, the cost of the soil, the cost of the manpower, and putting that into the cost of the bud. So at the very end, you know that flower costs this much. Then you take it from there into the processing, and you start to do your distillates and your rosin and all those pieces. And now you've got another piece of the puzzle. Now you know how much that costs. So you're actually making profit, and you're not just keystoning. You actually know how much you...
As opposed to a lot of businesses that don't have the technology or, behind them that are just kind of doing some of these things and hoping, right, that it balances out at the end of the month in a green instead of red. Wow, I really am like mind blown every Monday night on the show. Like, it's just crazy the things that I continue to learn, and I just really appreciate you all for being here and sharing your information with us. So, all right. So, what is that pretty thing again? So, we have the Purple Rose Supply is this company, right? This
Correct.
is the box that comes in.
Purple
right?
Rose Supply, and they all come with your dowels because you have to have a hole in the middle of your cannagar.
Okay.
And we'll show you how to do that. And then they all come with a nice wooden or bamboo tip.
Very cool.
So I like the glass tips that Jacob has.
That he's gonna do.
And we have the cigarillo size that's coming out for this.
Okay.
It's a 4 gram, and it actually fits that glass mold perfectly.
Nice.
But I would like to see if we could make some that fit the big one and the
Yeah,
That would
definitely.
be cool.
because no glass. I'm a glass guy.
That would be cool. Do you roll them also? Do you?
I usually don't roll them, but I'll pack them.
Sorry. I'm
But
learning.
They are really easy to roll, though.
Oh, you can roll them also?
Yeah.
Oh,
He just
okay.
usually does it because big fingers, especially the big one. Big fingers are nice, but
Okay,
the little
so you
ones,
can
they're
roll them.
really
You can
easy.
roll or pack them.
Yes.
So if I say roll, I'm not like super
No,
okay.
no.
Look, I have a lot of those moments on the show where I'm like, ah. So tell us a little bit about why you medicate, if you don't mind. And
Sure.
if not
So
too
I was
personal.
more of a late bloomer. I didn't start medicating until I was like 28, 29. Mostly for anxiety at first, but then started using it more for pain management as well. Great when you have your periods. So that is definitely one of the times where I'm using it 100%. So,
What's your favorite way?
probably dabbing. I would say, yeah. I like edibles too, but sometimes they're harder to dose. So I like dabbing.
Yeah, and dabbing kind of instantaneously, I feel like.
Yeah,
right?
I like
As
my
opposed
Puffco the
to-
best. That's my favorite.
We're going to chat about that. We're going to definitely chat about the Puffco a little bit. You have some beautiful stuff right? Can that go in the Puffco?
It can. That rosin is fully melt. It will wipe out clean and all your stuff. All hand twisted.
It's on. You can't see.
That's
Do you see
that's
that?
our GG4 rosin.
Beautiful.
I believe we have GDP and GG4 coming out right now. We're going to have more Sunset Sherbet, and we'll have a couple other stuff too. We got
All right.
a bunch of strains coming in.
So how is this made? How is this made? This beautiful thing right here. How is this made?
So basically what that is basically just heat and pressure. You're going to keep it simple. But if you went into it, how it would work is you take your, I'll tell you the process of what we made to make that. We take our keef, we filter it out. We make it basically a little bit finer than normal when it comes to micron level. And what we do is we're left over with just a finer, more cleaner type of product to use. So we take that product and we put it into what's called a 25 micron bag. Basically, it's the same if you looked at a pixel on a TV. You know how it says 1150, how many holes, that's how many pixels it is.
Okay.
Same situation as when it comes to microns, just how many holes there are when it comes to per parts. So that's kind of what it is. But it's a 25 micron, it's a low micron. Like a coffee filter is really, really low also. It's a lot less, but we use what's called like a silkscreen micron, and we use that, and we what we do is we pack them in, and
Pack them in? What is
we take the
the
bags.
bud?
Yeah, we take the bag and we take the keef and we pack it inside of there, and we fill it up. So it's basically not too full, so we don't because actually less is better in the situations. So what we do is then we apply pressure and heat. With what's called a rosin press, which is like tons and tons of pressure. What type of pressure you use is your own kind of thing.
When you say tons and tons of pressure, I'm
like
gonna
literally
sound,
tons, like
yeah,
25,
that's what I was just gonna
25.
ask
You know what I mean? Like
really?
25 to 35, depending if it's flour or keef. If it's flour, you can go up a lot, but keef, you really have to do that much at all. Full pressure is pretty much at almost 2,025, like already.
Wow.
But ideally, when it comes to
ask
flour,
those
it's a lot
questions.
more. You can the machine we have is a hand press. It's called a DAX extractor. It's a hand press. So the difference is what we have, in my opinion, what makes it better, in my opinion, is because it's not automatic. There's lots of machines that do the control, and they're really, really going to detail, like how fast it goes into, at what time, pressure, when, timed. Everything's like all done on computers. But I like the one that's the hand. So it's a hand pump basically. That's a really, really nice unit. It's all steel, made in Ohio. And then basically it's a hand pump that pulls the pressure, and it works really, really well. That's what we use, and you collect the type of meds that comes out. It comes out like looking like a fine type of like crystally honey almost, or even white. It looks like beeswax when it's cold.
Can we come and watch this sometime? Like, can we come do a portion of the show and watch you?
I'd have to double check just to make sure the litigation's in what it is, but I'm sure we can figure out something.
That would be so cool to show that. Like, this just sounds so cool.
Do an ounce squish.
Yeah, we'll figure out something, but as long as it's good with DHS and stuff like that, I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
But
whenever you come back, whenever, we'll do it. We'll come to you.
Yeah, it's a great little setup we got going on there.
You are so passionate too. Like, is that just maybe you can hear his passion and like how much you definitely care about cannabis in the way that you speak about it and your knowledge. So that's really impressive.
I really appreciate that. I really believe in it. Something I've worked and lost a lot for. I've lost everything, gotten back on just to get where I'm at. Sold my truck when I basically tried to go to High Times in 2014 and compete. And then since they had like the Wheatus was the same type of stuff as Cheez-Its, so they couldn't publish it. So the lady then just wrote like some articles and then like invited me out for the Art of Edible conference in Michigan to speak on their like little panel or whatever. So she kind of like hooked it up on the side and stuff. But if I would have had different branding, which I have now, which is like my side profile of like the white and red beard or whatever with the glasses.
Nice.
But yeah, it's the reason I didn't get this is because of plagiarism, pretty much.
Oh, that's not nice, but nice that you're figuring it out now.
No, it's cool. I almost won as a patient in Arizona, so that's cool.
That's
but
awesome.
I did not. So.
Did you bring any of these?
The crackers?
Yeah.
No, we're not producing them yet, just because we're waiting basically a little bit on. But
I am Amanda Munchies. They did tell me
no,
that,
I totally. Once our product line's out, we'll come back and
we'll do.
We'll definitely do an edible menu display that we'll have and what we're doing. But Zonka bars will be coming back for sure with their, a lot of different stuff. We have a lot of stuff coming through out that nobody's seen before. My full cracker line. So you have the jalapeno, the smoked barbecue. You have the cinnamon, like old school, like Teddy Grahams. And you'll have
you're making my mouth salivate. Oh my gosh.
It's good. They're really, really good. They taste just like Cheez-Its. They're really made with really good cheese. And they have gluten-free and vegan options. And we're really going to make a pretty big statement once we open up our edible line, in my opinion.
That's awesome.
I've been waiting a long time to do this, and I've been patiently doing anything correctly, I think.
Well, and Hempful Farms is great with doing the gluten-free, vegan, 100%. Stuff like that as well.
Yeah, Chris does a great job over there.
Shout out to Hempful Farms for doing that. So
what's up, Chris?
Yeah, seriously. So I mean, I was there for Sunday. Where'd it go? Oh, it's being blocked. But Saturday, the hemp building class with John Patterson. You can move the phone with tiny hemp houses, and so. Super cool to be able, we're going to just shoot this over here at you guys for a while. Super cool to be able to make that. That actually comes out, but you might want to do it like over the floor or something, or flip over the undo just so we can, like if it comes, that's all. Yeah, so that's a hemp brick. So just kind of cool, like the things that you can do with hemp. And it was really cool to be able to learn that and, participate with other people. There was a girl there who I want to say was 12 or 13 years old. So super cool. I know. Sorry. You're like, I'm ruining oh my God. I'm sorry.
It's okay. We don't want to smoke that though.
We don't want to smoke this. No, we do not. But this was really cool to build. Oh, where's the other one at? It was really cool to build. And so, I don't know, it was definitely cool to learn about and just see what you can be doing with hemp and learn there's over 50,000 uses for hemp. So I should have asked that, how many uses there are. I should have told you guys. I should have asked. All right, so you got Pretty Stuff and there's a Puffco. Can I ask if the first thing, okay, no. Should we pack the Puffco and pass it as we stuff? It's packed. Okay. So can we teach what the Puffco is though, and then pass it around as we stuff the cannagar?
Yeah.
Is that all right?
That works.
And for the cannagar, we did a little pre-breaking up of cannabis, right? Did we broke it up in advance?
Yes. No, I got it right here.
We're gonna fresh. We smoked the stuff we broke up. Ha. I was lying.
Oh, yeah, we did
smoke all that. We smoked other stuff. So we're going to break it up. But so I was asking questions then about when you break up the cannabis of whether or not it should be buddy or grinded. So this is our awesome grinder. It's actually working really well.
Unfortunately, that's the only thing I didn't remember is my grinder. But I had that hard grinder, which works great.
Yes, and you definitely want it a little bit more finer than buddy for these. So just something to keep in mind. So how well do you know the Puffco, Miss Amanda, to introduce it to the world and maybe educate us a little bit? Is that all right?
Real quick, sure. So the Puffco is awesome. It gives a really, really smooth hit, almost like a low temp dab every time.
And this is for concentrates, right?
Mhm,
So we
for
use
concentrates.
concentrates in this.
Yep. And it has 4 different temperature settings. So right now I think I have it on the 2nd setting.
Okay.
So there's a green or a blue, a green, a red, and then a white setting.
Okay.
You can correct me if I'm wrong on any of this.
Well, yeah, and you're just helping to educate us. So, if anything's wrong, nobody hate us.
So it has a nice little ceramic chamber inside. And then I just put the concentrate in there already. It's all ready to go. Nice little button down here. Double click it. It lights up green. Tells us what temperature setting it's on. I don't know what the temperatures are for each one.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
But, and then we just wait for it to double buzz. And once it double buzzes, it's ready to hit.
You can start hitting it and passing it on.
Yeah. And sometimes I start hitting it a little bit early. You'll see some of the vapors start to come out the top. And then I just start hitting it once that happens. With buzzing. This one should get a good amount of vapor. Oh, there it goes.
And this is great for anyone who doesn't want to do the the torches or the e-rigs, right? Those can be, right, e-nails?
Yeah.
That can be a little much sometimes for some of us.
Yeah.
So this is also not smoke, it's vapor.
Yeah, it's very clean.
We're just everyone's gonna get a hit. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely hits. So nice.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful taste. Definitely lovely. He's got
He
way
moves
bigger
it
lungs
around
than
all
I
nice.
do.
Yep.
Beautiful. And then can you repack it right away? Do you have to wait a minute or two? And again, I'm not trying to quiz you on it. I'm just kind of being curious.
You can repack it right away. A lot of times what I'll do is as it's still heated a little bit, I'll clean off the tool inside the chamber there. But and a lot of times too, like if you look inside there right now, you can see probably some liquid in there.
Yeah.
Still, and so you can just even let it sit there and come back to it later on.
Okay.
I do that all the time.
And hit it again.
Yeah, and hit it again. And just heat it back up, and you just double click it again, and it starts back up and is ready to go. It probably makes it dirtier to do that, but
yeah.
And the little atomizers there, the little part there. So the part that's like the heating chamber in there, it's called the atomizer.
Oh, in there.
Yeah. And ours haven't gone out at all. We've heard of them going out before, but they're only $30 to replace. So, and we've had that since October, and it hasn't gone out at all. So pretty good. I mean,
probably went through 3 already.
Whoa.
Yeah. And actually, we have 2 of them, so we have been switching between 2 because we got 2 when we.
It's probably clutch that we don't overdo it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and these are great, and so again, they are a little bit of an investment. And one of the things that we were chatting about pre-show was that there's also some cool different tops that you can get for this, right? So different glass blowers make different attachments for this that are just really, really cool. And so that's definitely cool too. Like you can make them like custom and kind of get it different. So, well, we appreciate you educating us about this beautiful machinery here, piece of technology, the Puffco. So if you don't know, now you do. And we're going to try to keep educating you this evening. All right, John, so what are you breaking up?
So I'm breaking up some Sunset Sherbet, nice and stinky. It's nice and resiny. And this little grinder, I've never used a credit card grinder before, but it's rocking. I really can't complain at all about it. But yeah, you don't need it to be super fine to go into the cannagar mold. It just needs to be broken up.
It feels so pretty. It's so nice still.
Yeah, it's super fresh.
Yeah, it's nice when it's all dried out.
Yeah, it's probably a couple weeks.
I like it when it's
And so one thing about the Purple Rose cannagar mold is if it's not fresh and it's not soft and it's not squishy and it's a little dry, it needs to cure a little bit longer. So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to roll up. No, you're cool. I'm going to roll up this cannagar, or I'm going to load up this cannagar mold, but we're only going to let it sit for about 45 minutes, 30 minutes, and then we'll roll it up. But because it's such fine bud and it's resiny, it'll set real quick. But usually if it's a little dry, if I get something from on a $99 sale from the dispensary, it's going to be I got to let it sit in there for at least 3 days.
Yeah, 3 days.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
But after 3 days, it will hold. But the other day I did a little bit of some dry bud, and after like 4 hours, I tried to pull it out, and it just kind of pieced apart and broke apart because it didn't cure, it didn't hold together.
I can't wait to see this. Like I feel like I'm going to be mind blown because I don't really know what's going to happen. So I'm really excited to see this process of rolling this.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. It's so cool so I roll good blunts. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I do throw out some pretty nice blunts on the regular. But as far as like 7 gram and a 14 gram blunt go, it's near impossible for me to roll something that giant without losing my fingers. And so this packs it in, and what it does is it allows you to smoke. And with the hole down the middle, it'll smoke for about 2 hours. At Nita the other night, we smoked the 7 gram one, for about 2 hours. And it just smokes even all the way through.
And we've smoked them before. They are beautiful. They smoke so pretty. You definitely need a mouthpiece. Well, I don't know about these, but I know, right, with any type of cigar type. Otherwise, they get a little bit warm on the end, right?
And what they do is they'll break apart in your mouth.
So mouthpiece are important. While we're speaking about mouthpieces, blah, blah, I can't speak. What do you got over there? Can I ask?
Yeah, so I roll big fat joints also, and I only really got kind of when you make your own stuff. There's a bunch of people that make them like what he has with the bamboo, but they're glass. They make a couple of them like that, but these are basically the 16 mil, and it just has like the indent on one side for your finger like this, so you can like hold on to it. But I'll roll one up, show you what it looks like. But basically, you wrap it around it, and then you roll your joint. So it's just at least, you know what I mean. You can at least roll a quarter up on a minimum without having an issue. You just take like the 2 papers and you just like put them together or whatever. And you can roll up at least from anywhere from like at the Earl Cup, we rolled up 13 joints in 3 ounces.
Whoa!
So I rolled up all those. But yeah, those were like all with the glass tips or whatever. But it tastes really good too because it's glass. So I really, really like it.
They're easy to clean too also,
yeah,
correct?
You can clean with a Q-tip and they're reusable. That's the best part about it is if you like, you can put something inside if you would like to do it. But I roll them inside with it on tops because they're like a little bigger. But you can put them inside too, but there's like a little niche or whatever.
Cool. So you're going to roll one of those?
Yeah, I'll roll one up.
And you're going to roll one of those?
Yes.
This is just beautiful.
Awesome.
I am so excited for break on this show. So, all right. So, what are you doing?
So, first of all, here's the mold. Very simple. Okay. You can fit 7 grams into the mold. The very first thing I do is put my little dowel in there because that's going to be the actual hole for the cannagar. It's the airflow. So, I make sure that hole is that little dowel is covered.
And the sticky, are they both pointed ends or just the
one end is pointed, the other one's
pointed end is out this way?
Correct. Okay. And so the bottom of it's going to hold down here. You can see it pointing out.
Oh.
And so I'm going to hold the bottom like that, and I want to keep the middle as straight as possible. Okay. Otherwise, it will bend, and then you have an ugly bend in your cannagar. So all I do is take some of this ground up bud.
You're just sticking it in there right now?
Stick it around there, yep.
Okay.
So kind of tap it around, get it to go. If it doesn't go in there, I have my little poker tool. And my little poker tool will knock it down inside.
Oh, and that has a hole in it?
Correct.
All right, so that has a hole in it, so it goes around.
Yeah.
So you get a really good stuff in there? Is that the idea?
Correct. Now I'm going to get it in there, and I'm really going to push on it.
Okay.
Because I want it to hold in there.
Okay.
So I noticed that my little dowel is a little bit off, so I'm going to make sure that when I put it in next time, I kind of hold it over.
Okay.
So the first couple drops of bud that you put in there, or flour, they're essential to keep it upright.
Wow. Okay. Because that's going to be the base of it, right?
Correct.
So it's almost like the foundation of your house, right?
Yep,
So you need a good foundation. Okay. Very important to know. I like it. All right, so as you're doing this, Miss Amanda is grinding more weed, right? What do you do? You know which one this is that you handed me?
Yep.
That's GEP.
Oh my gosh! So I almost got medicated just smelling it. I don't know if that's actually possible, but I think I did.
I'm gonna break it up, so you should break it in half and smell it because I think it's even better then.
Oh my gosh! Like it's just.
If it could get
that's
any
what this
better.
One is. This is just. I mean, this medicine. My fingers are. This is just beautiful. It smells so luscious.
in my opinion, so if you've been smoking for a while, because I've been pretending it was legal for a lot longer.
I love it. You've been doing a lot of research.
Yeah, like I've been acting like it was legal for a long time. But there used to be, everybody called it like the Phoenix Suns or whatever, and like you used to get these perps for like a long time, for like 2 or 3 years, like back in like 2000 and like, I don't know, like 8, you know what I mean, around that. And I haven't seen them, they just disappeared. And like I feel like we're getting closer and closer, but even the stuff we have right now is super fruity. It has that like Fruit Loops, like lemon type of taste, like good perps.
Yes.
But it's really good too, and it's super heady.
And people don't realize sometimes that the terpenes are actually part of the medication, right? Like, don't they have medicinal values? Always correct me if I'm wrong, please, because I'm still a learner.
I just started a Instagram, actually, Terpenology.
Oh.
And so, yeah.
That was you?
That was me. Sorry, I've been busy the last couple of days.
There's other things he could be doing, so.
Right?
In my house, man.
Educating the world about terps. What a great thing to be doing in your spare time.
Yeah.
So, and then are you two learning about it as you're going?
As I'm going, I'm really putting a lot into it. I also rep for Pure Earth.
Okay.
So that's one of the other companies I rep for down in Tucson, and I'm the sales rep down there. So we do a lot of distillate. We're also working with some CBN right now because I'm trying to see how CBN and THC work together, because CBN has no THC. And so when I take CBN, it makes me feel a little drowsy and makes me kind of chill. When I mix it with THC, I sleep all night.
Oh.
So I'm doing different levels and kind of playing with it right now. Well, also we're looking at terpenes. And so I'm using different terpenes to kind of amplify what's going on with the CBN and with what's going on in my head. So it's kind of cool, all the little like tricks that I'm using. But terpenes really just got in my head, and I started thinking about all the ways that the myrstorine, that all the limonene, and all, limonene picks me up and perks me up. So I went to Extreme Terps down on, the University area by Tempe Marketplace. And Extreme Terps gave me a bunch of terps one time. They gave me some Jack Herrera, some Purple Punch. And so what I did is I don't use the terps in anything because I don't have a lot of distillate, but my Volcano Vaporizer has a little disc in it. I put my terps in there and I flip it on and let it just fill the entire room. So when you're working and you're cleaning your house, you throw some of that Jack Herrera in there, boom, all of a sudden you're ready to just fire up.
It's like an essential oil.
Exactly.
Ooh, and a cannabis essential oil. I love it. So cool. Are you done already?
No.
Okay, hold on. I can come back. I can switch back.
Oh, good.
Are you going to roll it now?
I can.
I'm sorry. There's a little gnat in here. It's loving us.
I'm telling you, ever since I started working there.
They follow. All right, so as we're doing this, just so you know, we're going to go to break in a little bit. Not yet, because they're still showing you, and we have a few minutes. But the interesting part about this is that we get to learn all the time. So when did you find out about this company, the Purple Rose?
Yep. Oh, so actually I was at M&J BizCon with Weedware, and in November. And we went outside on the very last day. You weren't allowed to smoke at M&J BizCon. And we went out on the lawn, and this kid had this gigantic cannagar, Ryan. And I looked and I was like, what is that? How did you do this? I get excited about things like this. And so he pulled out the mold and showed me. And I said, okay, let me have it. And I started, reaching my pocket for money. He's like, no, I don't have any for sale. It's coming. And so we connected over Instagram, and over like the course of 2 months, we finally connected at Earl Cup. And when we got to Earl Cup, he had 2 ready for me, the 7 gram and the 14 gram. I bought them. I grabbed them. I sat down at the table next to his table, pulled 2 ounces out, and just started rolling cannagars.
I love it. So you can get these, if anyone is interested, you can get these at purplerosesupply.com. Should they contact you first so they can get a discount? Or
they can go on to purplerosesupply.com and cannagar 10.
Cannagar 10.
Simple.
We'll get you a discount until 4/20. Yep. So if you're liking this, if you want to try this amazing product, then that would be a great thing to do before 4/20, so that on 4/20 you're the coolest kid at the party, unless John's there with your cannagar. So yeah, this is definitely dope that you're doing this. Like I said, I've never seen this.
So the little one retails for $45, and then the big one retails for $49. It's not terrible at all.
And they're, I'm going to say pretty strong. I mean, it looks like they're not like this
Yeah,
is
they're
not
pretty
plastic.
durable.
This is like definitely a metal, right?
Yeah, so their very first like prototypes are always in the plastic molds, and I have used those before. They work fine, but when they cast these out, and right now they're working on a 4-gram cigarillo, and when that casts out, they're going to send me one. Just let you know, because it's a 4-gram cigarillo, really long, and it only fits 4 grams, so it's really good for that.
Yeah.
You know, recreational smoker doesn't want to smoke 7 or 14 grams.
Yes, or doesn't have that much to share.
Correct.
Like, and, you know.
Well, the cool thing about this is you can really roll these up, and then you can smoke them over the course of like a month because they burn down, put it out, burn down, put it out, because it's a very even burn.
So I'm going to ask a dumb question. Does the cannabis go bad at all as you're doing that?
So what I do
Sorry.
is, I mean, it depends on how long you're smoking.
Okay.
I mean, it's obviously you don't want to have it for a month. When I cure these, and I cure them for 3 and 4 days or even a week, I'll actually put them into a jar with a Bovita or an Integra packet with a 60% humidity, because then you're going to keep that and you're going to humidify your herb as well.
Yeah. So Integra, for anyone who doesn't know, and the other company, I don't think I've heard of them, so feel free to say their name again.
Bovita.
Bovita. Yeah. So those are going to be like, basically it keeps your cannabis fresh, almost like a cigar case would do for a cigar, correct? It's like a humidifier?
It's a 2-way humidifier. So it will keep everything in the jar at 60%, 70%, whatever the percentage you choose.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I actually use them in my guitars as well.
Really?
Yeah, because it keeps the wood at a constant humidity.
I have some big ones, and we give Bud Card members them often in our monthly giveaways so that they can try them, because we think it's important for people to know about products like that, right?
You know, when you buy those cheap meds, you get them and they are, you know, sometimes a little dry. If you just buy a $2 Integra pack and you throw it into a jar, 4 or 5 days later, you've got some nice bud.
Really?
It'll pop right back up, yeah.
Well, and I feel like if you're spending the money on the quality of bud like that Zonka has, that like you're rolling up here and you're rolling up here, at that point you want to spend a couple dollars to make sure it's lasts, right, and is good. So, and when you're smoking really good cannabis, and I think this is the one thing that as a patient, and this is my opinion, so again, feel free to correct me if any of you feel differently, but you know, as someone who, I don't have a ton of money, so there's definitely a part where it's like the cheaper the bud, the better, like the more I can get, yes. But there's also a point where it's like the cheaper the bud, the more I have to smoke to actually get medicated. And so when you have bud that's good quality bud, you actually don't, like, you can take a couple hits and then go do other stuff and come back and take a couple hits. You know, it doesn't have to be this whole thing where it's, you know, nonstop, just I have to smoke because you're not feeling medicated after any of it.
Correct.
You know? So at least that's my opinion with the cheaper bud, which again, like, we all need to medicate. So I've definitely bought an expensive bud, and but I definitely appreciate that. And when this is around, like, yeah, you definitely want to take care of it, you know, and just, you know, love your medicine a little bit more. As crazy as that is. Oh my God, so what are you doing? Hold on, what are you doing?
What?
What are you doing?
Oh my goodness, look at the size of that.
Holy cow. What are you doing? Are you telling him? What's he doing? Are you guys watching? We got such pretty things up in this building this evening, and I'm not talking about Amanda. Either one of us.
Amanda's.
Either one of us. No, we are beauties, but I'm really referring to the flour and the roll
Zonka.
jobs, the stuff jobs.
Team Zonka going top.
The Amandas are pretty darn amazing, though, just for now, right? Pretty darn
Take
amazing.
my bud.
Sorry.
So Amanda just broke this up using our credit card, which seems to be working pretty darn well for the night.
Yeah.
So
I did half of this in Sunset Sherbet, and I'll do the other half in GDP.
oh, we're excited.
Yeah.
And we've got some stuff going on over here. What's in this one?
This is GDP.
Yes. I just want to smell them. All right, so if anyone wants to get, let's just tell these wonderful people where they can get this stuff too. So can we buy these at all?
The tips?
Yeah, the glass tips that you rolled this with. Can we buy these at all?
I mean, I do have a bunch, but I mean, yeah, I guess you could hit me up on my Instagram if you wanted some.
Okay, so where do we hit you up if we want these?
Hyatt Foods, so it's HIGHYET Foods _
Awesome.
and they're like 16 mil. So they're for fatties. They're for the bigger ones.
And it has just like that perfect finger slab.
Yeah, it's nice because
really
you can smoke on it. Like, this is how I roll them. This is how I smoke. Like, this is all my friends know it. This is how I smoke. So, like, when I do roll this and stuff like that, like, they're nice because it tastes good all the way through. And like, you can clean them, and it's really good. I like it.
So pretty.
How many grams do you think are in that?
I bet you at least 6 or 7.
So crazy.
Actually, there's a quarter in there, so yeah, it's almost gone.
And are we gonna smoke it on the break?
A lot, yeah.
It's awesome.
And that's gonna cure. We're also, can I say that we're gonna
Yeah.
smoke this one too?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we're also gonna smoke this on break, which smells like, just like the sweetest dream. It smells really, really pretty. So this was. Can we say yeah?
Yeah. It was
I'm
good.
like, I never know. Go ahead.
It's good for animals. It's just one of my favorites. It's a grape pie crossed with animal cookies, and the grape comes out just incredible on it.
So yummy. So yeah, we're gonna have a great break, which is gonna be coming up. But I want to capture the end of or the middle of. So how much?
We're almost done.
No pressure.
No, we're almost.
But how
done.
much longer does the process take?
Like just a few more minutes here. We're almost at the very end.
He's pretty stuffed.
Yep, pretty stuffed.
So I don't know if you can see in there because I'm not very good at this. Oh, my seat's going up. My seat that usually goes down just went up. That's the first time that's happened. So.
And that's it. We just pound it in here until it gets to the very end, and then we're done.
Amanda, do you ever do the stuffing also?
Oh yeah.
So it's easy for us gals also.
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah, the only thing is you got to make sure that the first couple times you have it straight down.
Okay.
You go straight down with the rod.
Okay.
Otherwise, like you was saying, the stick gets kind of tilted and bent.
I feel like there would be a natural learner's curve.
Yeah, and it's
know.
super easy. You just undo it and dump it out and start over again if you mess it up. It's
Oh,
not,
cool.
It's not a huge deal. Even if it breaks, I mean, it's not like the bud goes bad or anything.
Right.
If it breaks the first time you make one or the second time you make one, then just crush it all up, try it again, or roll it in joints and get some new bud.
It's one of our favorite toys.
Yeah,
so
it's
it packs
so
it
easy.
in, and then you're gonna open it up, and then you're gonna roll that
Correct.
packed goodness. Is that the idea?
And we will use, leaf, fan leaf, distillate. Excuse me. We'll do a whole thing, but we just have blunt wraps today, and they're hemp wraps.
Oh, we just have.
Yeah, just
No,
sorry.
this is beautiful. This is perfect.
Oh, I learned today you don't want to take these out of the package too early.
She's gonna have to
dry.
lather those up. So
You're gonna have to lick them good.
I will. I was trying to avoid having to lick them good.
Now you're gonna have to lick them extra good.
Yeah.
It's almost like the karma that you get for not licking it on air, you know?
I know. I'm just glad they're hemp.
all right, all set.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so you know it's done. Will you show that one too? Can he zoom? Yeah, he zoomed right in. So I don't know if you can see in there, people, but it's nicely, it's nicely stuffed.
Nice.
And so we're gonna now open that bad boy. Is that the deal?
No, we're going to take a break.
Oh,
when we come
okay.
back.
So you let it sit.
That's right.
Okay, so this is the curing process, right?
Correct.
It sits in there.
That's it.
So when you say you'd let that cure for 3 days, you would let that sit in one of those for 3 days?
Correct. Yeah, it'll just sit there. And the idea is you really should let it cure for about a week. And if you let it cure for a week, it'll even smoke longer because it just packs in there. I mean, it's just jam packed.
Do you leave them open, or do you put them in like a jar?
Yeah, so I put them in a jar with a Bovita or an Integra, and that will actually, it's perfect.
Perfect.
Wow. Okay, so now on a regular basis, is it like you have one curating all the time, and then you have is it like you smoke when you curate one?
Yep. This morning I woke up and I made Jonathan, my cousin, come over and bring me coffee. JP Solomon, way to go. But then I made him clean all my tools. So we didn't have any in the cure. We were going to wait for the show. But yeah, tomorrow when we come, we're probably going to load up a couple more and get it ready for Mita and for Women's Grow.
So when you say clean them, what does that even mean? Why would you need to clean it, and what do you do?
Because it gets a little sticky because of all the resin. I mean, there's so much resin. Exactly.
Because you're using good medicine.
Yeah, I mean, it gets caked on here. It's pretty disgusting. But no, just alcohol wipe and we're done.
Okay.
Yeah, like maybe 5 minutes I think it took him.
Yeah, you can see even on this one, there's a little bit, even the first time.
Yeah.
Sitting in the bud.
But yeah, it just kind of gets caked on.
Oh, yeah,
there.
for sure.
It's all resiny and
It's like a
delicious.
grinder.
So I might sound crazy, but could you also take that off and smoke it?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's like everything's smokable.
Okay. Look, I just don't like to waste. I'm like, I'm not gonna rubbing alcohol that. I'm gonna smoke that.
No,
must
yeah,
be a way.
in here you just really have to kind of wipe out.
In there.
Yeah, the little bit that's in there. Otherwise, it'll stick when you pop it out.
Oh, okay, got you. So you definitely want that to be nice and clean. Okay.
Yeah, when we were at HempCon, we were with Fire as Fuck 420, and the bud that we put in here actually broke because we couldn't pry it out because it was so resiny. It was crazy resiny.
It was like that, like this at one point, trying to get it out of there.
We had a brand new grinder. I put only an eighth in there, and it ruined the grinder with the eighth, so I just had to find to break it up.
Well, now you know you need the credit card to do it.
Credit card is the way to go.
Like, this is, it's champed so far, right?
Yep.
I mean, I gotta say, like, this is a really good, beautiful cannabis, and that card was just champing away with you. You were champing away on it. I feel like everyone has done it, so cool. All right, so we're gonna go to break. We're gonna let that cure, and we can let that cure, I mean, throughout the next part of the show as long as you need to, so towards the end if you want to roll it.
Cool.
And then, yeah. So we will go to break. Does anyone want to say any announcements before we go to break? Does anyone have any? We don't have any last words yet because it's not the end of the show yet.
But I'm super excited to smoke that big old thing right there.
I know, right?
This thing
The
right
glass
here.
tip.
Looks so pretty, right? So this is what we're talking about, people, just in case you don't know.
I'm eyeballing that.
So pretty. So we are definitely going to go get medicated. No, just kidding. It's not food I share. Unless it's munchies, those I don't share.
That is just incredible, man.
It's such a beautiful, like, roll job, too, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to hold it, too?
No.
Are you sure?
I might break it. And then I feel so bad. So.
Well, you're going to be holding it in a moment.
Well, yeah, but then we're smoking it, so then it's just party foul.
All right, ladies and gents, we are going to take a break. We are going to go enjoy some of this wonderful medicine, and we will come back. We're going to talk a little bit more in detail about why we're medicating these days. We're going to go in a little bit more personal about like the different ways that we medicate. We're going to talk a little bit more about how we make some of this stuff, and you just had a lot of knowledge earlier about the RSO, so I'd love for you to share that again with us. So, yeah, we'll go to break. We'll come back. We'll probably stuff the Puffco with this, if that's all right, for when we come back. Yeah.
We have to, right?
Put a little bit of that in there, and so we can hit on that. And yeah, we just thank you for watching, and make sure you come back for the second half. We want to say thank you very much for Zonka and Hempful Farms for bringing us amazing flower today, because this has been beautiful. We certainly want to say thank you to you and Purple Rose Supply. This is amazing, and I certainly encourage everyone to try this new product. So this is going to be exciting to see the second half and what it comes out as. And yeah, yay!
Cool.
Don't lick yet. Don't lick yet.
No.
Don't lick. We're talking about papers. All right, everyone. We'll be back in about 10 to 15 minutes, and we'll see you then.